Hi friends, it's Peggy Noe from PrettyPaperCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you the adorable Sending Hugs bundle from the new 2021 to 2022 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. It feels funny to say that, doesn't it? Yeah. But this is an adorable bundle, and I want to show you some cards that I've made, and we're going to make one together. So let me put the camera down here so that you can see. There we go. Now this bundle is on, here is the new annual catalog, May 2021 to April 2022. And this bundle is featured on page 19 of the catalog. And here are some cards they made with it. And here is the adorable stamp set, and it's called Sending Hugs. So you've got the word hugs, and you've got lots of little other sentiments over here, like on your special day, birthday, sending you hugs, to you, wishing you well. Adorable little sentiments that work with the word hugs. And hugs is just such a good general thing to say to people. I really am going to use this set a lot. And then there is a cute stamp, a little flower stamp on a flower on a stem, and some leaves. And then the dies go with it. So this is again page 19 on your catalog. So let's take a look at what we have. Here is the stamp set, like I mentioned. And here are the dies. I've been playing with them, and we're going to use this big one today. The one thing I think is neat, this is the big one. It makes this. It'll cut this out. Isn't that cute? And the letters hugs, H-U-G-S, are right inside there. It's all one piece, so it's easy to put right on the front of a card like we're going to do today. Another neat die is this one, which is small, but it has the letters hugs, and I'll show you. I cut them out in white. Hopefully you can see them. So here they are, and let me just move this over a little bit. So you can do whatever you like with them, and I'm going to show you a sample card here. But what I thought was fun is you could even be not too serious. You could be kind of fun and lighthearted, and kind of do something like that with your hugs, and then put the little sentiment down below. So those are the two main dies. And then on top of that, or in addition to that, you have these two label dies, and they fit the sentiments, those small sentiments that I told you, like happy birthday or hugs to you and so forth. Here's the leaf die. Here's the die. There are actually two leaf dies. This is the die that fits that sweet flower that I'm actually going to use today. And then this die cuts out two other flowers, and I'll show you that. So here's some samples that I've made. And today we're going to use and be working with Slimline cards. This is a little smaller, like a mini Slimline card. It's 6 inches, cut at 6 inches by 6 inches, and scored at 3. Real easy to do. And I've put on here a piece of the Pansy Petals Designer Series paper. This paper is, all the papers Stampin' Up! Has are always gorgeous, but I really like the Pansy Petals, so we're going to be using that today. And I've gone ahead and just cut the big die out of the Fresh Freesia, one of our new beautiful in colors for this year. Fresh Freesia cardstock, and isn't that cute? And then on the inside I put two of the little small stamps that I told you I like, the sweet ones, and I just had them come together here. I think that's a very cute look. And so that's one sample. Another sample is where I did use the letters that you cut out with the other die, but I didn't have enough whimsy, I guess, to do them that other way. So I did them straight, again, out of the Fresh Freesia, and I stamped the little flower stem up and then down over here, upside down and right side up. behind here, this is cut with the layering rectangles dies, and I put this behind it. So just a little bit of that laciness kind of shows through. And then here are the two, I want to get it so I hope you can see that. These are the two dies that are cut with the two flowers that are cut with this one die. That one, I'll put it down like that so you can see it. That one die cuts out these two flowers, and I just thought they were sweet, so I put them in there. This paper I used here is from the hand-penned designer series paper. And again, the two little stemmed flowers on the inside. Now here's the card we're going to be making today. And I put the little sweet flowers on the outside of the envelope. I'm going to have this below for you. This is a neat coin envelope that I got on Amazon. Here's the little flap. I think it's fun to put a card in these little envelopes, and it fits the mini Slimline card just perfectly. So I'll put the link down below for you. And I put those cute little flowers on the front. And here, these two papers are designer series papers from the Pansy Petals designer series paper. Again, I like to check and make sure I'm giving you the right name. I've cut the big hug stamp out of one pattern, and then I've set it on top of some beautiful pale papaya is the color gingham paper, and I've added one of the sentiments, hugs to you, and cut it out with the label. And this is what we're going to make today. So let's get started. We're going to start with our card base. Again, I mentioned to you that it's 6 by 6 and scored at 3 inches. So I'm just going to fold right on that score line and use my bone folder to burnish it so it flattens nicely. We're going to adhere our gingham paper right on the front, and the gingham paper, you know, in layering, I have a video I'm going to be posting about layering. Look at the back of that side. Of that paper. I just had to bring that out. Okay, in layering, generally you can do it any way you want, of course, but traditional is to go in 1/4 inch. So the front of the card base front is 3 by 6, right? It's 3 this way, right here, and 6 this way. And so if you want a layering piece, what you're going to do is cut in 1/4 inch on both sides. So this is 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. And you can just keep going in 1/4 inch to make any layering. You can layer it all up to tiny. I've seen some people do that, and it can be very beautiful. So all that to say, the gingham is 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, now we're getting ready to cut out using our beautiful Hugs die. And I'm going to bring up my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It fits perfectly right here at my desk, so I don't have to get up and go to the big machine. And here are our little plates. I've cut a scrap, like I mentioned, from another one of the Pansy Petals designer series paper. Here's a beautiful pansy on the back. And I'm just going to, on the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss and on the big one, you have, they're numbered. And so your first plate is number 1, your second plate is number 2, and the number 2 is the cutting plate. And so this is the second clear one is also a number 2, if you can see it there in the corner. All right, so I'm going to put my Hugs die right on top of that. Now I want to tell you that with the designer series paper, when you're cutting it, it's about half as thick as the cardstock, cutting cardstock. So with my cardstock, I did have to run it through back and forth, one time forward, one time back, because the cardstock is thicker, and I had to do that to get it to cut properly. But we're using the designer series paper, which is thinner, and I only have to go through once. So that's kind of nice. Okay, and here's our die cut hugs. And we're just going to pull that little guy right out. And I'll show you what we're going to do. I bet that many of you have a little foam pad that you might use to get the die out properly. And this is our Stampin' Up! Take Your Pick tool. There's an additional little piece that you can buy that screws in right here, and it's this die brush that helps to brush all the little pieces right out of the dies, just like that. So that's how I do it. And let's check and see. There are still a few little pieces in here, so you just kind of keep at it. This has quite a few little pieces, but that's what makes it so beautiful. Get that one little guy out of there. I think most of them are out. One nice thing about the Take Your Pick tool is that it has a pick end. And so the little pieces that don't come out, you can push the pick at them and they will pop right out. I think we've got, let's see, there might be one over here. You know, you don't have to get them all out. If you don't, sometimes it's almost an artistic you know, kind of a thing people do is don't get them all out. But most of the time I like to. There's another little piece right there hanging off the back. Okay, so now we're ready, and look how pretty this looks on top of this beautiful pale papaya gingham. Isn't that pretty? Now what I want to show you today is how to adhere something like this, where dimensionals and even mini dimensionals might be too big for the back. It's a little hard to see because it is a designer series paper, but here's the letter S, for example. You can see that, and here's the letter G, U, and H. Okay, so I'm going to use foam adhesive strips on this to adhere it to my gingham. And what I do is I just take my little scissors, my little paper snips, and I just cut off about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch pieces at a time, and I place them down on the letters, just a part of the letters, just to adhere them. Now the S is going this way. There it is right here, because that's the way the S is. The other letters are a little bit easier. The G has a pretty straight G back, and I can, so that the strips are adhesive on two sides, and so you adhere it on one, and then just like with the dimensionals, we're going to peel off the paper. So now we've got the letter U, which has two straight sides, and I'm just adhering this right onto the back of the letters. And for your information, the adhesive strips are a little bit higher. Let me put my fingers in there. A little higher than the Stampin' Dimensionals. So they give you a bit of a higher lift off of the card. So there's an H, and H is a good one because it has two straight sides that we can put the strip right on there. And let's turn it over and make sure. I don't really see anything showing through, so we're ready to put this on our card, on our gingham paper. So as I go through, I'm going to press to make sure the strip is adhered, and then I'm going to peel off the backing. I like to make sure it's really adhered there to the designer series paper. Let me just press those all. It's kind of good to press them all at one time, because the worst thing would be is to have this come off, wouldn't it? Oof, give this card and have this piece fall off. That would not be good. And I'm in San Diego. We have some dry weather, so I tend to use some really sticky adhesives. So we're just going to center our hugs piece right over our gingham, press down, and there we go. Isn't that cute? I just think anybody would love that. But there's more. Alrighty, we are going to do one of the little sentiments. I mentioned to you the For You sentiment, and I'm going to use Calypso Coral, And again, let me bring in the stamp set and show you again. So here are all the sentiments that you can use. Sending you hugs, birthday hugs, hugs and kisses, hugs to you, hugs on your special day, hugs wishing you well, thinking of you from all of us. So those are really nice sentiments. And the one I'm using today is the to you, and it's so tiny. It's just super little tiny. So I'm going to ink it up with my Calypso Coral, and it just takes kind of a light touch. There we go. And it has a little exclamation point on it. And then we're going to pull up our tiny little die. Let me get that little guy. Look at that little guy. And bring back our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we have to get some of our crumbs off of there. They adhere to the plate, which is fine. You know, crumbs are evidence of an adorable die having been cut because it had lots of little places to cut. That's what I say. Alrighty, so let's get this up where you can see it. Put it on there and put the teeny tiny little label die on top. You know, we could adhere it with some washi tape, but I'm going to see if I can't do it this way and just lay this right over on top of it and don't move it. And then we'll see if we can't get it to go there. There we go. It just takes a minute for it to grab. Okay, here we go. With these little ones, you have to be really careful with the dies. Don't lose them. I try to keep them all on my card all the time, my magnetic cards. Okay, so let's go back to our hugs card. And here is our sweet little sentiment to you. And again, I'm going to use, if I can find it, where did I put that? Another piece of the foam adhesive, but now I've kind of lost that one piece I was working with. It's around here somewhere, I know. Well, I'll just cut off a tiny bit more from another piece, right? That's all we need, is just a tiny bit. Okay, I'll find it when I clean up. You know how that is. These are hard because my nails are long and they are so tiny. So let's put the adhesive strip right on the back, just like we did before. Well, I need to put it down first before I peel, right? Okay. And this way, this will be lifted up, well, just like this, at the same level as the main die cut piece. Okay. All right. It's a little hard to get it right on there. I keep tipping it over. Okay, got it. Now it's stuck on there, and we can pull our little piece off. And we are going to put the little to you right over here. And it's easy to line up because we have our gingham paper that has the stripes. And there we go. Hugs to you. Try to get it so you can really see it. Now we're going to stamp our inside of our card and our envelope with that cute flower stamp that I like so much. So let's give you a glimpse of how it works. It's an easy, you know, some stamps are easy to stamp, and this one really is. So I don't like to get any extra ink around. Make sure. So hopefully this will turn out right. Yes, very sweet. And then I try to get the stem right about the same place as the other one. Isn't that just cute? I really like that little flower. Now, here's my envelope, because I like to stamp my envelopes too. And I'm going to do the same thing on my little envelope. whoops, just like that. Oh, I like this card. I have been making several of them, and I'm going to send them out to some of my friends and some of my demonstrators to just let them know that I'm thinking about them. And I'll just come back now and say thank you so much for stopping by to my YouTube channel today. If you liked this, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and come back often. And I have posted underneath the video all the different products that I use, and you can just click on any product and you can go straight to my little store and order. So I hope you've enjoyed our card today, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.